The Confederacy Statue Controversy. The United States Civil War background. You might have learned about the U.S. Civil War before. During this war, the Union fought against the Confederacy. There are many reasons for this war, but one of the biggest reasons was slavery. The Confederacy wanted to keep slavery, but the Union wanted to stop it. During the war, about 620,000 soldiers died. The Union won, and the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution was made. This abolished slavery, but racism against black people and other non-white people continued. After the war, many southern states created statues and memorials of famous Confederate generals, such as the General J.E.B. or the General Robert E. Lee statues. This is because many Southerners wanted to pay tribute to the Confederacy leaders. More than 2,000 Confederate memorials were built, and many of them, until recently, have remained. The death of George Floyd and protests. In 2020, an African-American man, George Floyd, was murdered by a white police officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The officer thought Floyd used a fake $20 bill, so the officer began to arrest him. The police officer knelt on Floyd's neck and back for over 9 minutes, and George Floyd could not breathe. After Floyd's death, large protests were held in the United States and even around the world. Many people were tired of racism and frustrated that it has continued for so long. As people protested the death of George Floyd, they began to ask why cities still had statues of Confederate generals in the parks. Didn't these statues represent racism? Many people then started to protest against many of the Confederacy memorials and statues too. Removing Confederacy statues. Recently, about 160 years after the last battle of the Civil War, people in the United States are rethinking if Confederate statues should remain. For many people, including many black Americans, memorializing the Confederacy is hurtful because it praises the Southern leaders who fought to continue slavery, not those who wanted to end it. Statues like the one of General Robert E. Lee remind many people of past and present racism in the United States, so many have been asking for their removal. In contrast, other people have argued to keep the statues because they show Southern pride and are a part of history. This has been a recent controversy because people have strong and different opinions about what to do. After a lot of discussion, many local governments and cities decided to remove the Confederacy statues, like the one below of General Robert E. Lee in Richmond, Virginia. It was removed in 2021. Renaming Confederacy U.S. military bases. Also, some names of U.S. military bases, like the U.S. Army base in Virginia, have been recently changed to remove Confederacy names and replace them with other American names. For example, Fort Lee, previously named after General Robert E. Lee, was renamed as Fort Gregg Adams in 2023. This new name memorializes two important African American military leaders, Major Charity E. Adams and Lieutenant General Arthur Gregg. It was the first time that U.S. Army bases were named after women and black officers instead of only white men, especially white men like General Robert E. Lee, who fought against the United States. Major Charity E. Adams was the highest-ranking black woman in World War II, and Lieutenant General Arthur Gregg was the first African American to achieve the highest officer rank of Lieutenant General. Both had very successful careers in the U.S. Army. One reason the name of the base was changed was to make U.S. soldiers feel more included in the Army instead of excluded from it. Retired Navy Admiral Michelle Howard was one of the military officers who supported the military base name change. She said this about the name change. When you name a military base for an individual, you are elevating them. It's someone you want to look up to and remember for their heroic acts or for their example of leadership. We are looking to have names now that when a sailor serves on a ship or a soldier serves on a base, they can look up and learn about that person and be inspired to be a better military member. Also, retired U.S. soldier Jerry Green said, "Keeping the old Confederacy names is really kind of a slap in the face to those African American soldiers who work on bases named after generals who fought for slavery."